Welcome to Cheating Tales, where we uncover real stories of betrayal and deception in relationships. Today's story follows Lisa, who ruined her marriage of 20 years in her pursuit of freedom and joy. I've been married to Lisa for more than 20 years. We met when we were young, and now I'm 57 and she's 53. We have 3 adult children. Our life together has had its good and bad times, but we've always been there for each other. Lisa means the world to me. Lisa has some friends who believe in things like feminism, identity politics, and social justice. It's a bit different from what I think, but that's okay. People have their own ideas about these topics. Lisa and I sometimes talk about these things and try to understand each other's viewpoints. I did not pay attention to these ideas that Lisa had or was starting to develop. For me, they were all nonsense. Lisa had some strong views about how women were oppressed for a long time, which sometimes scared me. She personally hadn't experienced oppression or discrimination. I found these discussions unsettling, so I often tried to change the subject when they came up. I have seen these woke women on TV shouting and talking all nonsense and screaming at people when they did not have any logical answers. I worried that Lisa was getting influenced by them. One day, she started questioning our marriage, saying it had become dull. I suggested therapy to work on our relationship, but she wanted to go on a solo vacation instead. I reluctantly agreed, but later found out she went with her friends, who I thought were toxic. When Lisa returned from her vacation a week later, she looked like a completely different person. She had cut her hair short, and there was an unusual aura about her. It felt like she was someone I had never met before. She didn't hug me or show any affection when she arrived, which was unsettling and made me feel like a stranger to her. Lisa continued to spend more time with her friends and engage in protests, some of which I didn't support. I had a serious conversation with her, expressing my concerns about the direction she was heading. I told her that she needed to reconsider her choices. However, she didn't listen and continued with her activities. Things escalated when she was detained for participating in a protest that disrupted traffic. I had to pick Lisa up from the police station, and during the ride home, we had a very heated conversation. She remained silent throughout, which left me even more concerned about what was happening with her. Lisa began using social media, specifically TikTok, to share her feminist ideas. She started gaining a decent following, and it became clear that she was investing a significant amount of time and effort into her videos. She would spend hours getting dressed and creating her content for the platform. Her social media activities seemed to be consuming a lot of her time and energy. One day, I stumbled upon one of Lisa's videos, and I was horrified by the message it conveyed. In the video, Lisa was saying, "Good morning. Do you want to become a miserable older woman? I don't think any of us do, but we've all seen those women who seem unhappy, always complaining and nagging their husbands. We hope we never become one of them. You know how it happens. It often starts with raising a family, working hard, and then suddenly in our 50s or 60s we realize we have nothing for ourselves. We don't have a life separate from our family or husband, and we end up resenting everyone. So here's what I think: we need to create our own lives. We need to have something that's just for us, something that makes us feel fulfilled and alive. Even if we have a good marriage, we can still be unhappy. We don't necessarily need a divorce, but we need to find what fills us up and makes us feel like we've truly lived our lives. Life is short and time is running out. What if this is our last year? Would we want to live it the same way we are now? I doubt it. So let's find a way to live every day, enjoy our marriages if they're good, and be our own people separate from our husbands and children. Women should get unstuck and explore the world. There's so much out there for us, and it doesn't end when the kids move away. We can find fulfillment and happiness in many ways. Anyway, I hope that helps. She approached me with a request that took me by surprise. She asked me not to pick her up from the movie shoots, explaining that it was essential for her image in the media. She expressed her concern that being seen as a married woman in the media could potentially impact the way her character was perceived in the movie. The role she was playing required the audience to believe in her character's single status, and her worry was that the public might not fully immerse themselves in the story if they knew she was married in real life. It was a difficult decision for me to accept, as I had always been there to support her and ensure her safety and well-being. However, I understood the professional considerations of her request and the importance of maintaining the integrity of the character she portrayed on screen. With a heavy heart, I agreed to respect her wishes, even though it meant keeping my distance during her work on the film. However, I had a feeling that something was not going well. In a few days, I did start getting hushed rumors that Emily and AP were having an affair. I knew that such rumors made their way around every movie set, so I did not pay a lot of attention and did not ask Emily about it. However, one day while I was on the movie set working on my editing duties, I overheard a conversation between two technicians. They were talking about Emily and the director, and their words revealed something that left me deeply troubled. They were discussing the affair between Emily and the director. They mentioned how one of them saw AP feeling up Emily in the green room. He also stated that they left for a nearby motel for a quick action. They both laughed, and one of them said, "Isn't she married?" The other one said, "Married or not, she is being drilled hard by the director." Their words hit me like a ton of bricks. I almost fainted and quickly made my way to the washroom, putting my head under a tap. I had to know what was happening, as I still could not believe what the two technicians had said. Later that night, I waited for Emily. She arrived around 11 p.m., and it seemed like she was heavily drunk. I asked her about her condition, and she said they had a party post-shoot and she drank a bit too much. I asked how she came home, to which she informed me that AP was kind enough to drop her off in his limo. My mind just imagined what all could have happened in the back seat of that limo. She could not stand properly, so I took her to the bedroom and tried to change her clothes. While I undressed her, I saw small marks on her chest that are usually caused during an intimate encounter. I saw more such marks on the inside of her thighs. I was horrified and disgusted. My initial feelings were violent, and I wanted to hurt Emily in ways that she could not imagine. My beloved wife was cheating on me, and I wanted revenge. I somehow controlled my rage and decided to dress her up and walk out of the room. The entire night, I could not sleep, and at times I almost rushed back to the room to try and harm her. In the morning, Emily woke up, and I confronted her about the marks. She said that she filmed an action sequence for the movie and got the marks due to the injuries she sustained during that. I knew that she was working in a drama, not an action movie. I somehow controlled myself and walked out of the house. I did not want to see her. I did not know how I would react if I got close to her. I reached my studio and met my two dearest friends, Jake and Tom. All three of us worked together and had known each other since we started our careers. I told them what I saw and what had happened. Both of them grew angry but also warned me against any reckless actions. I told them I wanted revenge and wanted their help. That evening, all three of us met at Tom's place and discussed how to approach our plans. Our plan was simple: to expose both my cheating wife and AP. Tom was an expert with audio recording, and Jake was skilled in video. We decided to film my wife and AP in the act and expose them. We bought some equipment that we needed for our big expose. Over the period of the next few weeks, we carefully covered the green room, and after bribing AP's driver, we even managed to rig the limo. We started to shadow Emily and AP post-shoot to see where they went and what they did. Their every move was being filmed, and they had no idea. I had some intuition that the action could also be happening at my home, so we also covered some parts of my house. Emily had no idea that she was being filmed even at her own home. After 2 months, the shoot was over, and Emily was spending more time at home. The film had entered post-production, and editing was my responsibility. While editing, I realized that it had no real story. The acting absolutely sucked, and the movie was sure to be a flop. After the post-production, we had a screening of the movie for the producers. They were not very optimistic but still wanted to go ahead with the release. I was waiting for the same. You see, I had created 2 versions of the movie. One, the actual one, and the other one with the explicit footage that we shot with our equipment. I must say that once my version hit the theater, I might get a job as an editor in the more explicit movie industry. The problem was now to get our version to hit the big premiere. We figured out that distributing the movie was the job of Max, a close aide of the producer. The poor man was cheated on by his wife, who later took away his house as well. We decided to play our cards with Max and took him out for a drink with us before he sent the actual movie to the screens. During the round, we figured out that his ex-wife was cheating with AP. Max absolutely hated AP for ruining his marriage and his life, so I eventually told him about my wife's cheating and what we had done. After that, he did not even blink an eye and was quick to say yes. He quickly took us to the office and sent our version to all the intended recipients. Finally, D-Day arrived. It was the premiere of the movie, and just as I expected, Emily went on the red carpet with AP. They proudly walked hand in hand towards the screen, with the paparazzi clicking their pictures. 10 minutes into the movie, the character played by Emily was supposed to be emotionally upset and consoled by the lead actor. All was good until that exact moment. The lead actors were embracing each other. The scene led to a green room scene where AP was all over Emily. Everyone in the theater was shocked, and they were even more shocked when the scene moved to the action in the limo. There were explicit moves, explicit dialogues of encouragement, and we had edited the background music to match the action. Emily panicked and ran out of the theater, rushing back home only to find her belongings nicely packed outside the house. As she stood outside the house crying, a man approached her and handed her an envelope, asking her to sign for the receipt and left. Divorce papers had been handed to her, and she was asked to contact my lawyer if she wanted to get in touch with me. She kept calling me all night, and I did not answer. Tom, Jake, and Max were already at the bar, enjoying our drinks. However, during the trip, I discovered some hurtful texts, and it was horrifying. The trauma that followed was intense. I had a physical and emotional breakdown, and I felt like I had completely lost control of my emotions. It was a terrible experience, and I'm struggling to cope with it. Her upset wasn't about losing me. It was more about losing the exclusive access to my resources and the stability I provided. The specific trigger was when she discovered I was telling another woman that I loved her. Not just that, we were involved romantically. Unlike Lisa's boyfriend, who was only interested in casual relationships, typically I invest both financially and emotionally in my relationships. When a man like me is in love, he often wants to build a life with the woman he loves. For Lisa, the real trauma was losing her place in my life to another woman. I began receiving numerous calls from Lisa, where she expressed her remorse and reminded me that I had asked her to come back. In response, I told her that it was too late and she would no longer be a part of my life. That boat has sailed. She had made her choice, created her own circumstances, and now she needed to live with the consequences of her decisions. A few days later, we saw another video from Lisa. Things aren't going that great for me. I keep thinking about how it used to be back when things were good. Maybe all of this is my fault. Maybe I'm selfish or self-centered. I'm struggling with all the fakeness, all the pretending I'm fine. I think I was in shock before, but now reality is sinking in. I know it's just a separation, and there are worse things in the world, but I'm uncertain about what my life will be like. I can only remember the good things. It's hard to recall anything bad. I remember this lovely woman who was a close friend. They even invited me to dinner tonight, and I bought gifts for their children. I thought I should go and have dinner with them instead of being at home with my own family. I don't know why I feel this way, but I miss my family being a family. Maybe it's worth staying miserable if it means having my family back. Because without them, I don't know who I am anymore. I'm not crying because I'm drinking. I'm crying because it's just really hard. I hope you're having a happy Saturday. I'll probably be okay later. It's just that everything I've ever known feels like it's gone. My family isn't together anymore. Even though they're physically here, I'm going to go sit with another family. It's nice they invited me, but it's not easy. My daughter called me up and asked to do something, but I told her their mother chose this life and I did try to stop her. She wanted freedom. She is free. She has a new love life, and she can explore the world as she wants. My daughter agreed and said she agrees with every word I said, but she cannot help but feel for her mother's bad choices. A few days later, there was another video. Good morning. Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing and why I made the choices I did. Last night, I had a dream about my estranged husband. He came to me saying he'd hurt his hand badly and was crying in the dream. He needed my help, and I suggested moving in to take care of him. Felt like we were starting over the way things used to be. It was an upsetting dream, and it's not even possible. It's just how dreams are, I guess. My body is telling me that I still love him, And I always will. But things are different now. Sometimes I get angry and think, why doesn't he believe that I should have a fair share? He wants to give me some money, but it's not enough. All the things we had were partly because of me. My parents lent us money, and I played a significant role in helping him, encouraging him, and being there for him even when things went wrong. I made mistakes and I paid for them, especially when I left. It seems like everything he did was okay, but everything I did was my fault. I'm constantly blamed for everything. So now I'm at this point in my life. He has more money than I do, and I'm struggling to find a decent place to live. Some people, especially men, think that women don't deserve anything, that they're freeloaders and that they should just fend for themselves. After 30 years of taking care of someone, I feel undervalued, like I have no worth. It's hard. I saw the video and felt that she had now lost her mind. She did receive her share of fortune as part of the divorce settlement. I did everything by the book, and as per the law, she cannot gaslight me and make me look like a villain in this story. She cannot blame me for her bad choices. I wanted to retaliate and wanted to sue her for her video, but Nicole then stopped me and asked me to ignore her. My kids called Lisa and told her to apologize for what she posted or she would be cut off from everyone's life. Lisa, having no choice, did post a lame apology, citing her mental health as a reason. I got married to Nicole a few days later and did unfollow Lisa on all my social media. Dear listener, if you have reached this far, please click on the subscribe button. It will be a great help.